something out of the way here. I'm a Lady Gaga fan. That's not to say that I love every single song she shoves out there, but I like Poker Face, I like Bad Romance, and I have them on my MP3 player. Her music is catchy, the video's stylistic and cool, and I've got no complaints as far as I know. When I first heard about a Lady Gaga comic, I expected, oh yeah, it's gonna be another stupid and boring biography comic. Of all the things I anticipated from this thing, well, what we got was nowhere close to my expectations. And no, I sure as hell didn't buy this thing when it first came out. Just because I'm a fan doesn't mean I'm an idiot. Like I said, I figured it would either be a boring biography comic or just some moronic attempt to transform her into a superhero. At best, goofy stupidity that you could laugh along with. That's the kind of effort you expect out of this company, Blue Water Productions. This is the same company that publishes those ridiculously dull political biography comics. This company produced a comic about President Obama's dog. They made a comic about Stephanie Meyer, for crying out loud. I probably wouldn't have even bothered with this thing, but then I actually read someone else's review of it and... Let's just dig into Lady Gaga #1. Well, okay, technically Fame #1, but trust me, it's Lady Gaga, and... wow.
Welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. Linkara's gonna teach you all a lesson you won't learn. Brodsky, you're not the smartest. Life out, you're not an artist. Anyone who's had a bad comic published, it could be your turn. Linkara, he's a man punch, wears a party hat. Linkara, he has a magic gun. Where'd he purchase that? Linkara, coins, robots, Amazons and trucks. Linkara, this comic sucks. Linkara.
Let's play a love game, play a love game. Do you want love or you want fame? Are you in that game? No, the love game. Let's play a love game, play a
You might be confused because I didn't give Lady Gaga's biography in the introduction. Well, that's because Lady Gaga is not actually in the comic until the very last page. Yes, in fact, the story is not about her, but a fan of hers. A creepy, creepy fan of hers. That's even dumber than giving her a comic where she gets superpowers or something. If I'm paying money for something that has Lady Gaga right there on the side, I expect Lady Gaga! There are a number of alternate covers to this, but today we're focusing on cover A, or cover purple. It appears to be an image of Lady Gaga that's been lightboxed and repainted. Truly work worthy of Rob Granito. You don't know who that is? Do a quick Google search. You'll probably also find him under Jackass who traces other people's work and then sells it as his own. Anyway, cover sucks and lies to us about Lady Gaga being in this thing. We open to some people I don't recognize singing on TV. Since I'm not hip with what the kids are listening to, I have no idea who these people are. We then see the guy who's watching this. They call this music? Where's the pizzazz? Where's the glam? Todd in the shadows, 40 years later. So yeah, we're just seeing this asshole sitting in a green chair and making snarky comments. Why would anyone find this entertaining? Just watching an overweight jerk in a hat sitting in a green sofa and making rude comments about other people's work, and I think I'll shut up now. But yeah, this is our main character, Bill. We're introduced to him as he sits in his chair groaning about the state of music and wearing a shirt featuring the silhouette of... what is that, Frank Zappa? Freddie Mercury? The Master?
Oh, I get it.
His wife comes in and asks him to take out the garbage since he can just change the channel if Nickelback comes on. No, babe, the batteries are dead. And it would just be impossible for you to take the tape off and replace the batteries. Seriously, are there any other main characters available that we can have? This one's defective. These bands today, they don't have any of the style that our bands had. Or to put it another way, everything was better on my Earth. Bowie, Freddie and Queen, even friggin' Blondie could outplay any of them. Are you dissing Blondie? Because let me tell you, buddy, I'd sure as hell prefer listening to Heart of Glass right now than read this. By the way, comic, you don't get to talk about good music when your little fame line also contains a book about the musical talent behind Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo Lover. Anyway, while Bill's wife keeps telling him to take out the garbage, he then suddenly hears Poker Face on the TV. What is this? MTV playing music videos? When the hell did they start doing that? That's some new one. Lady something. Lady. Bill is now hypnotized by this strange music video by some woman he's never heard of before, or possibly he's wondering how his chin got replaced by a golf ball. And the wife decides she'll take out the trash herself instead of yelling at her husband to get off his fat ass. The next day, Bill is at a music store where he inquires about Lady Gaga. Yeah, only like every other record store in the country, she's selling like hotcakes. Doesn't seem like your kind of music though, bud. Yeah, well, it's not for me, it's for my niece. She likes that bubblegummy crap. Again, maybe it's because I'm not hip on what the kids these days like, but to me, Aqua is bubblegummy.
I don't wanna waste my time on simple little things. I'd rather stay here all the night with happy voices sing.
Lady Gaga, on the other hand...
I wanna take a ride on your disco stick. Don't think too much, just bust that kick. I wanna take a ride on your disco.
Am I missing something? Nearby, there are two teenage girls talking. You see Pink's new video? I don't get it at all. Yeah, she's so weird. Is this all taking place in some weird parallel universe? What's there not to get about Pink or her videos? Especially considering that this comic was released around May or June of 2010. It's honestly hard to tell. There's no copyright date on this thing and my web searches have been unfruitful. Meaning that the music video they're referring to is either Glitter in the Air, which isn't a music video but a live performance, or I Don't Believe You, a black and white music video about a broken wedding. And yes, I know I'm harping on this, but in a comic that's all about musicians and singers, they should know what the hell they're talking about! What do these kids know about music? They weren't even alive when Ziggy Stardust came out. So, in other words, damn kids, get off my lawn! Lady Gaga? Get your groove on, guy. Little brats, probably go home and listen to Menudo. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen, an elitist snob. And for some reason, this thought just makes him start sweating profusely. Why? Does he get hot and bothered when he thinks of Menudo? Or wait, is he sniffing the CD case? What is up with this comic? So our hero is walking home and talking to his wife on his cell phone about how he's late to dinner. However, he's distracted by a woman walking down the street wearing a Lady Gaga shirt, then turning and running into another woman wearing one. Okay, he's only listened to one song, and already he's seeing her everywhere? At home, he's watching Lady Gaga music videos on YouTube, making me wonder why he wasn't just doing this to learn more about her instead of buying a CD when he had only heard one song before. Stephanie Joanne Angelina Germanata. Lady Gaga is much better. Oh dear God, I don't want to be this close to this guy's face! Especially since the way he's smiling and looking at her just makes him look like he's drooling at her. And why is he wearing those sunglasses while he watches a YouTube video? And it's not like it's a prescription thing for the monitor being too bright or anything. Later we see him looking at a computer screen without them. They exist solely for this creepy shot where we see Lady Gaga reflected in the lenses. And it's right here where this officially loses any hope of making this guy likable or this comic realistic. Now you see right here that I'm only zoomed in on him dreaming of something and him drooling. That'd be unattractive enough, but now let's take a gander at what he's dreaming about, shall we? First up, he appears to be making out with Lady Gaga. Okay, fair enough, dreaming about making out with an attractive celebrity. It's not all that attractive considering what we've seen of this guy, but nothing to what the hell? Is he pushing her over the ledge? What the hell are we supposed to take from this? What? Ah! longs to be a woman, or that he's actually a cross-dresser or something. This image just comes straight the hell out of nowhere! Good God, his dreams feature him making out with Lady Gaga, killing her, and then replacing her head with his own! This is the stuff of serial killers, people!
Did you know that I consider myself bisexual? There's something about a beautiful woman that really inspires me.
To every GLBTQ individual in the entire world, I apologize for this comic! And then in his dream, he hits the ground and wakes up.
Crap, just a dream. It's always a dream, and I wake up.
Hey, Norman Bates called. He said you're really kind of a weirdo. Is this a frequent thing of his, dreaming about having his head on someone else's body? Does he fantasize about cutting off Miley Cyrus's head and putting on his own? Later he checks the comments on his blog called Jellyfish Rules. Great, on top of everything else, he believes poor literacy is cool, and gets a spam comment. And now it's time for another right turn into what is this I don't even... He and Lady Gaga as little kids talking to each other. This is where the comic gets close to its biography roots, and I admit it's better than what we saw in the Mickey Mantle comic. This features a character actually talking about their backstory, as opposed to it just being narrated to us. However, since I know this is happening in this psychopath's head, it's not helping. Oh, and you know what else isn't helping? He's imagining himself in a schoolgirl's outfit. I was never into sports. I wanted to play guitar for Led Zeppelin, not bounce some ball around all day.
Again, I felt the same way. Amazing.
I love humans. Always seeing patterns in things that aren't there.
Now we see him waking up again, having apparently fallen asleep in front of his computer while watching the Bad Romance music video. His wife takes it remarkably well when she sees he's watching a video of a woman half his age dancing in her underwear. At work, we see he's a data entry drone, and I do mean drone, everybody is wearing the same dark blue shirt, and is singing Bad Romance out loud. He gets a call from his wife, who invites him to have lunch with her at McDonald's. By the way, is it just me, or did this artist actually draw his wife with the exact same face he uses for him, but with lipstick? That adds about 10 layers of creepy to this whole thing. His wife teases him about him liking Lady Gaga, but says it's no big deal since everyone has their fantasies. Admirable, but most people don't fantasize about murdering celebrities.
I'm your fantasy, right?
What, you're allowed to dream about younger women, but she's not allowed to dream of anyone but you? Double standards much? Oh yeah, you or Rick Springfield, I can't decide which.
Oh Lord, Jesse's girl?
You don't like Springfield? You are a snob. Just to further the look into this weirdo's psychosis, as his wife talks to him how she thinks it's great that he's finally liking a singer from the present, her head starts transforming into Lady Gaga's. At least I think it's supposed to be her. Frankly, it looks more like Gwen Stacy. Also, why is his hand so huge? And I'm pretty sure McDonald's does not sell any sandwich as large as your head. Back at work, he's singing again while he works, and his coworker asks him to quiet it down since it's hard to concentrate, leading him to start singing louder. Yeah, thanks, comic. It's not enough that he's a serial killer in the making, but he's also an annoying douchebag. Thanks to this, he's talking with his boss.
Do you know how many of your co-workers hit the wrong keys?
Bill, we're a data entry company. When people hit the wrong keys, it's like having the fire department putting out a fire with kerosene. Human lives depend on this data entry, Bill! We can't just hit the back button and type it in again!
I understand, Mr. Simmons, but I was holding that in my whole life, you know? I had to let it out.
You were holding what in? The lyrics, I don't wanna be friends? You are deranged! And then, completely out of the blue, he starts talking about Lady Gaga. I'm not kidding.
Do you know Lady Gaga? Top pop star. She got her start performing at bars after she was dropped from her first label without ever writing a record.
You are so fired, and I have zero sympathy for you. Remembering that tidbit about Lady Gaga inspires our quote-unquote protagonist. Bill walks into a crowded McDonald's with a blonde wig, a stereo, and a microphone, and says the following.
Lady Gaga once said that she is obsessively opposed to the typical. I'd like to think that she and I have that in common.
Hey, you know who else was opposed to the typical and whom you have a lot in common with? Ed Gein! So now Bill, fully embracing his insanity, imagines that Lady Gaga is with him in the McDonald's and the two are singing Poker Face to a bunch of stunned onlookers. His wife also walks in and instead of being horrified by this, records her husband on her cell phone doing this. The Gaga illusion tells him that she'd be honored to have him in the House of Gaga, which I don't think the writer even knows what that is. According to Wikipedia, it's her creative production team.
I always knew this day would come. It was only a matter of time before someone recognized my artistic soul.
You are dancing in a wig to someone else's music! How the hell is that artistic or creative? Not to mention, it wasn't your idea anyway! His wife recording it breaks the illusion for him, but now we have the final straw for the entire comic. See, it's finally time for Lady Gaga to actually appear in the comic as herself. You ready? Here's what she looks like according to this artist. I have no idea who the hell this person is supposed to be, but she sure as hell does not look like Lady Gaga, with pale brown skin, positively ginormous hands, hair that is in no way styled, and apparently very muscular abs and legs. And so our comic ends with someone off screen showing her the video of Bill dancing around to her music that his wife posted up. What's better? She describes it thusly. My sexy husband, the most creative soul in the universe. You live in a pretty tiny universe, lady. Lady Gaga says that it's pretty weird. Just weird enough. Let's find this guy. There's always room for one more in the House of Gaga. You know, I'm pretty sure this is where the comic officially gave up. Ignoring even the bad artwork itself, does Lady Gaga usually walk around with a microphone in her hand as if she's singing, dancing around, and standing in front of a gradient background? I'd almost venture a guess that this was some still image the artist drew, and he just gave up halfway through and they decided to use it anyway to try to give this thing a happy ending. This comic sucks and I don't even know how to properly describe what it is. The artwork is horrendous, ranging from passable to disturbing, to just having an ugly color scheme to it. Because, you know, if there's one thing you get from Lady Gaga's music videos, it's a lack of bright colors. The story itself is bland, incomplete, and requires leaps in character development without any real rhyme or reason. The protagonist is a creepy psychopath who at the end is one step closer to murdering Lady Gaga. Oh, and on top of all that, he's a jerk and a music snob. I, on the other hand, will admit to liking a wide variety of music, even stuff that others may find unlikable. See, I can like Queen and Pink and Lady Gaga and David Bowie and Bruce Springsteen and all the same stuff as this guy and still like other stuff. Hell, I actually like Nickelback.
Loser, you like Nickelback. I am so much more cooler than you now.
Yes, indeed. You know what else?
Hey, if you're looking for more posers to add to your music collection, I'm pretty sure I can get you a deal on some Limp Bizkit CDs.
I have a spaceship! Reminds me, I still need to name that thing, don't I? Next week.